If you've got pain or restriction over one of your SI joints, one of those bony lumps at the back of your pelvis, chances are the SI joint's jammed and needs to be freed up. Sometimes this will even give you pain in your glutes, down your outer thigh, or in the front of your pelvis. So here's how to release it nice and quickly. There's 4 different techniques you can use to free up an SI joint. And everyone's SI joint's a little bit different, so just try all 4, they're pretty quick, and see which one does the trick for you. Most people will get instant gratification, a little click, and they'll feel better. But in some cases, if you've got a long-term chronic case, then just do all 4 exercises each day, and it should free up over a week or 2. Now, if any of the exercises hurt a little bit, just move on to the next exercise. Let's start off by releasing the SI joint into extension. This is the one that works best for me. There's 2 ways to do this, but in the first, you simply do a single leg raise on the lifting up on the side that the joint's restricted on. Do it slowly first of all, see how it feels, make sure it feels okay. And if that feels okay, do that a couple times a bit quicker. And this normally releases my joint quite quickly and easily. Another way of extending the SI joint is to simply lay a leg off the side of a bed. So you hold on to your other knee to make sure your low back doesn't arch too much, and just let the leg hang, the weight of the leg hang on the side of the joint that's stuck. Now you can even wobble around a little bit, or slightly flex your leg and then let it drop down a couple of times. Just make sure you do that gently though. We've tried extension, now let's try full flexion to release the SI joint. The easiest way to do that is to put the foot of the jammed side up on a stool or a desk or a kitchen bench, and then bend that bottom leg so that all your weight is on this top leg and it flexes it fully. You can even pull your knee towards your chest and then just hang like that for several seconds. Try that a few times. Just don't do it if it hurts in the front of the hip that's up. Sometimes flexion or extension, but with a bit of resistance to create some torsion in the joint, can work better. And this can help to relax the muscles too. So try this next one, sitting or lying face up. We do this in 3 different positions. First of all, bend your leg with the jammed joint to 90 degrees, and then try to straighten your leg, but resist with your hands. And do that firmly, moderately firmly, for 5 seconds. Then do it in a slightly straighter position, maybe holding below the knee this time. 5 seconds, maybe 8 seconds. And then you can do this in a more bent position for 5 seconds. Once you've done that, you do the opposite. You try to flex your leg against resistance for 5 seconds in the 90-degree position, in the straighter position, and the more bent position. This last technique goes in a completely different direction. Instead of flexing and extending the joint, it internally and externally rotates the pelvis, and that pries open the front of the joint and the back of the joint. Sitting with your feet pretty close together, put your forearm between your knees and then try to push your knees together for 5 seconds firmly. Then do the opposite, hold your knees together and try to push your knees apart for 5 seconds. And then repeat that 3 times each direction. If these techniques don't work for you, or you even feel a little bit sore after doing them, you may have some instability in your sacroiliac joint, and so you might need an SI belt instead. Now, this can often be the case in women that have been pregnant recently because the hormones in pregnancy can relax the SI ligaments. To test that, get the thickest belt you can and put it low on your pelvis, just so it's covering the bony bits at the back of your pelvis and just below the bony bits at the front of your pelvis. Then cinch it really tightly and walk around and see how that feels. If that feels like a relief, that means your SI joints are a bit unstable and you need to get a sacroiliac belt and start wearing that while you're active for the next 4 to 6 weeks to settle it down. If your glutes feel a little bit tight too, gluteal knots may be part of the problem, so I'll leave a link in the description box below to a video on how to loosen your glutes. Anyway, I hope that helps. Let me know how you're going in the comment section below. Okay, cheers.